Today I'm going to show you how to transform variables. And when you transform a variable, you're just trying to find a better distribution for that variable. So I'm going to show you the functions for the log, the square root, and the inverse of a variable. To begin, my original raw variable is titled mutual. So that's my raw variable. So now I'm going to transform it for the log. So to do that, you type in you're just going to create a new name for the variable. So I'll do it mutual ln for the log, and then do your arrow, type in log, parentheses, mutual +1, close parentheses. So that's the log of the variable mutual. And now for the square root, you'll do the same thing. Type in the title, and I'll title this one square root, the arrow, and then SQRT, parentheses, mutual, close parentheses. To transform the variable for the inverse, type in what you're going to call it. I'll do it mutual IN, and arrow, parentheses, -1 times parentheses 1 divided by another parentheses 1 plus mutual, close parentheses, and then +1, close parentheses. So there's all your variables, and now I'm going to run those in R. And so now they're in R. And going back to my notepad, you can also make histograms for these variables, and therefore you can compare the different distributions of all of the transformed variables. And I have that down here. I figured it got very repetitive, so I wasn't going to go over everything, but I'll explain the first one. So to make the histogram, you do hist, and then parentheses, my first variable mutual, the color equals, and I made it pink. For the title, you put main equals, and I did mutual ties. For xlab, I put just 2 quotation marks so that there's no title for the X line, and for the Y, I put 0 to 6,000 just so that all of the histograms have the same measurements on the Y line. And then I did the same thing for each of my transformed variables, the log, the square root, and the inverse. And you can see that, I titled them different: log, inverse, and squared. But again, I have the same the same length on each of the y-axes. So I'm going to copy that. I also did the par function so that all of the histograms would be in one line. Put that in, enter, and there you can see there's your 4 histograms: the mutual variable, the log of the mutual, the square root of the mutual, and the inverse of the mutual. So that's how you transform variables.